Hi everyone, thanks for joining for this session on yoga for back pain. Specifically, this will strengthen your back and also work the whole of the posterior chain, so all of the muscles in the back of the body. It's particularly good to do this kind of session every now and again as maintenance. And if you're feeling any niggles or tweaks or pain or weakness in an area of your back, it might not be that specific point that the origin of the pain is. It could be above or below it. Maybe it's a weakness in the glutes and the hamstrings. Maybe it's a block of tension in the shoulders and the neck. So hopefully this session is a way of kind of ironing out those creases to make you feel really good. So enjoy. We're going to start this at the top of the mat in Tadasana, in your mountain pose. So you want to have your feet about hip width apart. Spread the toes out wide, engage the glutes, so squeeze them very slightly, and you want to feel like you're pulling your thigh muscles up away from the kneecaps. So there's already a bit of strength coming from the ground. And as you stand here in Tadasana, start to tilt the tailbone back and tuck the tailbone under. And what's quite nice here is I've got my thumb on my last rib and my fingers on my hip. And we want to find length in that space. And as we tuck the tailbone under, there's like a little contraction as they pull a little bit closer in towards one another. Inhale, tilt the tailbone back, lengthen. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, contract a little bit here. So using your own body, on your own body, so your hands onto your ribs and your hips can be a really nice little adjustment for yourself. Really feeling where that movement is coming from. And then find a neutral space. So it's like that, those hips are like a bowl. And we want to find a nice neutral position for the rest of our body to balance on top of it. Now you're going to interlace your fingers and place the hands around the back of the head. Open up the elbows nice and wide, open up through the armpits, and push the head back into the hands. As you do this, there is a slight drop of your chin and push back through the head. So you're kind of channeling a bit of a double chin in this session. And those of you that are used to the use of bandhas, we're using Jalandhara bandha here, your throat lock. Push the head into your hands, engage the glutes and the thighs, breathe in. And then as you exhale, I want you to hinge the torso forward and your hips back. So this is the first little dip into a forward fold, but we're only going forward maximum halfway. So the knees are very slightly bent to try and push the tailbone back and broaden out through the sit bones. Slowly push the head into the hands and come all the way back up to standing again. Keep the elbows wide, breathe in. Exhale, hinge from the hips, tip forward. Push the head into the hands. And again, straighten it all the way up, squeeze your bum, open the elbows still, push the head into the hands, breathe in. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Now hold this position about halfway down, keep the knees very slightly bent. And you're trying to tilt the tailbone back and engage those lower ribs in a little bit more. Now in this position, it's sometimes called a good morning. Those of you that are used to the fitness terminology, I want you to start to pulse your upper body down an inch and up an inch. Push it up and down. Knees stay slightly bent. The weight is in the heels, but the big toe mounds are grounded, so there is stability here. Elbows stay open, and there is an openness in your chest, like you're trying to lift that chest bone up a little bit more. There's a slight extension in the spine as you do that. One more breath in, pulsing, and then come all the way up to standing again. Squeeze your bum. Keep the hands where they are, and I want you to hug the elbows in towards your ears, round the spine, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, open it up, lift the chest, arch the spine. Exhale, curve, hug the elbows in, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, open it up. So we want to find this nice balance between mobility and stability in the spine. Exhale, curve. Inhale, open it up. And then exhale, bring your arms down by your sides. You're going to leave your right leg out in front of you and step your left foot back behind you. So we're in a little bit of a lunge, kind of like a slightly higher lunge. Keep the front knee bent, spread the toes out wide, hands onto your hips for the moment. And as this left leg is an extension, it's back behind you. You've got to squeeze the glute a little bit more here. Now from there, I want you to hinge the torso forward once again. Keep the front knee bent. The weight's sort of traveling slightly further forward, but the back foot is grounded where it is. Now from there, open the arms out and bring them out in front of you, preferably arms in line with your ears. Drop your chin a tiny bit. From there, hug the lower ribs in a tiny bit more and pulse your upper body up an inch and down an inch. Up an inch and down. So we want to just keep that little pulse moving. Spread the toes wide. Stay bent in the front knee quite a lot to the point that you can actually feel that right thigh really switch on. Hold this here. You're going to interlace your fingers again behind the head. Open the elbows out wide and a lift in the chest. And tiny little pulse. Press down through the back big toe. You're resisting the hands. So you're trying to push the head into the hands the whole time. Stay with your breath. And then extend the arms back out in front of you. And bring your fingertips to touch. Palms are open, but the fingertips touch. Almost like you're holding a little ball in your hands. Drop your chin. From there, you're going to take a slight twist towards the right. And then bring it back into center. Now it's important that your legs stay really still. Twist towards the right. Inhale back to center. And again, exhale towards the right. Hold it there. You're welcome to keep it nice and still or pulse the upper body up an inch and down an inch. See, there's a little bit of a theme here. And maybe you're starting to feel some work happening in your right thigh. Good job if you are. Press down through that right big toe mound. And then bring yourself back into center. I want you to bend your elbows almost like a cactus so the hands come right by your shoulders. And pulse up an inch and down an inch. And if you're feeling this really in the back of your thighs, good. It's part of your posterior chain. We want to strengthen the legs and strengthen the glutes. They are like our powerhouses. So that the back isn't always taking all of the work in things like back bends, which is what we're doing right now. See how we're working in a little bit of extension of the spine? If the legs are turned off in this position, then that lower back is taking all of the weight. One more breath in. Exhale. I want you to now here, step your left foot up next to your right. Shake out the legs. Good job. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Exhale, hinge forward halfway. Inhale, rise up to standing. Now this feels easy. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift up. Last one, exhale, hinge forward. Little bend in the knees still. Inhale, rise up. Arms by your side, shift the weight into the left leg and step the right foot back behind you. Establish this lunge, move the hips around, engage the glutes, bend the front knee, and you're sort of leaning into that left leg. Arms wide, reach them out in front of you. This time, for this first round, the hands are separated. Drop your chin, arms in line with your ears. Bend the front knee, and your gaze is towards your front big toe. Hold this here, and your core will work. If you pull the lower ribs in slightly, you still want to breathe. Don't suck in and hold your breath. And you want to start to pulse up an inch and down an inch with the upper body. And if you're not feeling it enough after some time, bend the front knee a little bit more and lean into that front leg. Challenge yourself. Start to experience your edge, or where your limit is. And it can be totally different from side to side. And then hold this here. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Open up the elbows. Push the head into the hand, up an inch and down an inch. We're experiencing the same posture. A few different variations. Legs are really solid, building some strength right here in that left butt cheek, down the thigh. One more breath in. Exhale. Reach the hands out in front of you. Bring your fingertips to touch. This is called Hakini Mudra. It's almost like, again, you're holding something in between your hands. Drop your chin. And then take a little twist to the left. Back into center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. And we're really focusing that exhale twist around your ribs, the rotational part of your spine. Inhale, back to center. Last time, twist to the left. Hold it still. Or pulse up an inch and down an inch. My left leg is shaking. Up an inch, down an inch. One more breath in. Back into center. Bend the elbows like a cactus, hands right by your shoulders. Inhale, up an inch. Exhale, down an inch. Push the weight into that front big toe. Again, this is maintenance. And then very, very slowly inhale, lift your chest. Step the back foot forward. Shake it out, wiggle. Bring the blood back into it. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head. Exhale, hands behind your head, come all the way down as far as you can. Belly towards your thighs. Push the head into your hands still, but also drop your chin a little bit. And you're going to inhale, come up to halfway. So it is a slightly different sensation. Push the head into the hands, rise up halfway. Elbows wide. Exhale, belly towards your thighs. Whoa, my legs are shaking. Keep the knees bent. And again, inhale, lift the head up halfway. Push down through both of your big toe mounds. Exhale, belly towards your thighs. One more time, inhale, rise up halfway. We're going to come all the way back up to standing again. Push the head into the hands, rise up. Release the hands. Flick the hair back. Roll the shoulders. Excellent job, everybody. Now you're going to step your left leg back behind you again. You're going to repeat a very short version of that lunge, and we're going to come into center and switch to the other side. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. Bend the right knee. First of all, bring the arms up over the head. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand and tilt a little bit to the right. So we start to open up this area from the ribs all the way down to the left hip, into the thigh. And then bring your hands by your shoulders, tip forward. We'll just skip straight to that last point, right? Bend the front knee, press down through the back big toe, pulse it up an inch and down an inch. Up an inch and down an inch. There's a broadness in the collarbones and the chest. Hold this here. Plant the back heel into the floor. Turn the right toes in, and you've got wide legs. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head, arms in line with your ears. Now, from this position, you are going to bend your knees an inch, maybe two, but the knees are not going forward. The knees are in line with your ankles, and then you hinge from your hips, you push the bum back, you keep the arms in line with your ears, and you hinge as far forward as you can, keep those arms in line with the ears. So from the side, keep it in line, push the bum back as far as you possibly can, weight into the heels, but push down through the big toe mounds. If you're having to round the spine and the arms are dropping, don't go down as far. You hold that position, both the legs wide. You're also working your inner thighs in this position. Inhale, pulse up an inch and down. How far can you push your bum back? So we can see how integrated we are with that whole posterior chain, from the soles of the feet all the way up to the back of the head. Bring your hands by your shoulders, bend your elbows. Keep everything else the same. Upper body is tilting up and down. One more breath in. Exhale, hold, arms wide, fingertips out in front of you. Press your fingertips together. Keep pushing the bum back, try and reach the hands forward. And then you're going to keep sending your hands towards the floor. Knees stay bent, legs stay as they are. Push the bum back, reach the hands to the ground, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, press down through the fingertips, drop your chin. Exhale, you're welcome to bend your knees a little bit more. Inhale, lift the hips up a touch. Exhale, bend. And start to relax the head through the gap of the arms as you pulse your hips down and up a couple of inches. My legs always shake a lot in this position. And it's good. The shaking is good. We know that it's working. One more breath in. Bend the knees, hold it. I want you now to bring your hands onto your shin bones. Pull the crown of the head forward. And you're sort of dragging your hands up your shins, up to your knees. Hold that halfway point. Keep the knees slightly bent, in line with the ankles, bum back, crown of the head forward, collarbones broad, chest open, heart open. And then bring your hands by your shoulders, come all the way up. Excellent job, everyone. Turn the left toes to the back of the room. Pivot up onto your back tiptoes, your right tiptoes. Keep your hands by your shoulders. Bend the left knee and then reach the arms up over the head. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand and tilt to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then bring your hands again by your shoulders, tip forward. Bend the left knee, feel it. Press down through the big toe mounds, hinge forward. And you can start to pulse up and down when you're ready. The more that you push down through your front big toe, the more you're going to start to feel it here in your inner thigh. And we do want those adductors to switch on. It's a huge muscle. And it can be incredibly lazy. It plays a big part in your hip mobility. And then as a result into your lower back. And then it just has this knock-on effect. Hold that there. Slowly rise back up. Turn back in to face the middle of the room. Bend your knees, keep the knees in line with your ankles, push the bum back, straight away, reach the hands forward and slowly come all the way down to this forward fold. Fingertips to the floor. Inhale, press down through the fingertips, pull it out through the crown of the head. Exhale, tiny bend in the knees, drop the head through the arms. And again, inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale, you're welcome to bend your knees a little bit more. One more, breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly slide your hands up to your shins or your kneecaps. Pull the crown of the head forward as you push against the legs. Think broad in the collarbones. Hold where you are. I'm going to go to the side so you can see. Sort of need reminding here. Ankles and knees in line with the ankles, bum back. Chest open, squeeze the shoulders back. Hands by your shoulders. Rise all the way up, engage the glutes, squeeze. Good. And then come and step to the front of your mat once again. Shake it out. How are the legs doing? Are they still there? Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from the hips. Hands down towards the floor. Either rise up onto your fingertips or slide your hands to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands down, bend your knees. Step the feet back behind you. Lower your knees to the floor. Start to rock your bum back towards your heels. And then rock your chest forward over the hands and the wrists. Mobilize the spine here. How are you doing? So rock it back and forward. Wiggle out through the hips. Draw little circles with your hips and your shoulders. And we're going to land on our bellies. So slither yourself forward, lower down onto your front. And we're going to come into Shalabhasana. So Shalabhasana is known as the queen of the back bends. You're going to take your hands out in front of you and rise up onto your fingertips. Point the feet back behind you, press down through the backs of your feet and squeeze your bum. Now press down through the fingertips and lift your head, your chest, your shoulders, squeeze your bum. Hold that there. Lift your left foot off the floor by an inch. Lower the left foot down. Lift your right foot up. And the right foot down, drop your chin slightly. Lift both of the feet off Breathe in, squeeze. Hold that there. Lift your left hand off the floor. Lower the left hand down. Lift the right hand up. Lower the right hand down. Point the toes, squeeze your bum. Lift both of the hands up. And bend the elbows. Hands by your shoulders. Pulse up and down. Tiny pulse up and down. One more, breathe in. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring one hand on top of the other and lower your forehead to the hands. From here, we're going to focus on the glutes. Bend your knees, flex the feet. Take your thighs out quite wide and then bring your heels to touch. I would like you to try and push the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Maybe your thighs lift off the floor by 1 millimeter. I want you to feel this in the glutes. Pulse your feet up and down. You can do this with your head on your hands, or you can reach the hands out in front of you. Drop your chin slightly. Work that Shalabhasana in your upper body. Pulse the heels up and down. Shine the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. One more breath in, pulse. Exhale, slowly release. Good job. Wiggle the hips out. To feel all that work that you've just done in your spine, you're going to keep your feet wide and you're going to come into a nice big wide-legged downward facing dog. So press back up onto your hands and the knees for a moment. Feet as wide as the mat, and then physically grab hold of the outer edges of your mat with your hands. Your down dog may be a little bit narrower here. When you keep the knees bent in your downward facing dog, lift the hips and pull the mat apart. And in this position, feet wide, hands wide, wiggle the hips. How does the back feel now? The whole of the back of the body perhaps feels a little bit more alive, worked. I mean, the back of the body is just such a huge support. One more breath in. Exhale, look forward. You can lower the knees straight to the floor or release the mat from your hands and come down onto your bum. Now we're going to take it into, I like to call fire bridge. With a fire bridge, you may have done this with me before. You take your feet out in front of you and flex your feet. Feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit narrower, you decide. And your knees are going to be about 6 to 8 inches bent away from the ground. So lean back here, boom, core is starting to switch on. And in that position, I want you to then internally rotate your thighs and bring your knees and your big toes to touch. So your feet are still in that same position. Flex the feet like crazy, push down through the heel bones, but your knees and your big toes will stay touching the whole time. Keep it there and slowly roll back onto your spine. Keep the legs in that same position. You might want to adjust the bend ever so slightly in your knees. Now, as your arms are down by your sides, press your fingertips into the earth. Your palms are kind of lifted slightly off the floor and squeeze your bum. Really squeeze the knees and the big toes together like you're trying to hold something in between the legs. Flex the feet, press down through the heel bones, and lift your hips off the floor by about like an inch, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Hold that there, press down through the heel bones, and it's almost like you're trying to drag that mat a little bit further away from you as well. Keep the knees and the big toes together. Exhale, lower the hips down. And again, same position. If you want to amp it up just a little bit more, slide the heels away a tiny bit more. Flex the feet, knees and big toes touch. Press down through the heel bones, spread your toes and lift your hips. You can also lift the arms up towards the sky and maybe even come into Hakini Mudra. Bring your fingertips together. Squeeze the fingertips together so also the upper body, arms get it. There's a slight tuck under the tailbone as well as you squeeze the bum. Exhale, lower it down. Keep the hands up there And do it one more time. Press the fingertips into one another, press down through your heel bones, squeeze your bum, lift. Root down through the shoulders and the back of the head. One more giant breath in. Exhale, release. Well done, everybody. Bend the knees, the heels are a little bit closer up towards your sit bones. And slowly shift the knees to the right. Shift the knees to the left. You can take the arms out wide here if you wish. Gently just rock the knees from right to left, from left to right. Excellent job. I find this a brilliant way to sort of maintain your muscles. Also give them a really kind of good seeing too, just to make sure that the hamstrings and the glutes don't stop working, especially when we're trying to also stretch areas of our body. It's so common that we overstretch the hamstrings in yoga and don't strengthen them enough. So all that stuff I just gave you there is a wonderful way to build some muscle and some strength in the hamstrings and your glutes. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock it from side to side. Rotate the ankles, wiggle the toes. And then lift the legs up towards the sky. Rock up and down the length of your spine a couple of times. And come into whatever seat is best for you, cross-legged or kneeling down, up to you. When you're there, rest the hands onto your thighs, wherever feels most comfortable. Gently rock your head from left to right. Chin towards your chest. And then find a neutral position for your head to sit upon your shoulders. And take a final breath in together. Final breath out. Thank you for joining me on the mat today for a little bit of yoga for back pain, posterior strengthener. Appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed it, please like and comment. Tell me how you got on even, and spread the word to all of your friends who you think would benefit from my classes. If you enjoy my classes, I've got a ton on my channel, Trow Yoga. Also got some full-length more membership packaged classes on my website, alicetrowyoga.com. Check it out, see what I have on offer at the moment. It might just be what you're looking for. Good luck with your spines, keep them healthy, and have a great rest of your day.